I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be a long time. Life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time? We'll cross.
You should still take it. You never know when it'll come in handy.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if I...
So you're the blonde traveler that everyone's been... Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of that. Thanks. Please, also thank the magician on my behalf when you get the chance.
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy.
What? You mean you don't...
No, I believe in the prophecy. But I also believe in... The story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with the ocean. But as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea. So, if you ask me, when the water rises and takes us all,
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't live under...
all right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that being...
Oh, you already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, what did people have to say? I bet you heard some... interesting opinion. Yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
Is there anything else you need to do before we leave?
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontейn. Since we're out and about, I was thinking if...
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the materials look like and we'll...
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them...
It seems we have to use Hydra to collect romaritime flowers.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. Maybe next time you'll feel like helping too, Lynette.
No way. I'm in power-saving mode today. Otherwise, I fear I may not have...
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here, we
So, we're going to the court of Fontейn before we head to the Opera House? Good. Paimon wants a tour.
Wait, shh. Have you noticed noticed that person over there. The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her?
She's obviously a thief. Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should split up. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to run. All right, let's go.
This is the spot where Lenny wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also be... Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Lenny caught the thief. Yeah, let's go.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're...
No, that was all. Oh, I can't thank you. And anyway, I should be...
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time...
I saw the general direction she went, but Lenny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he was okay.
Oh, did you...
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact, it's feeling better.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our performance as a result.
You're right, you're right. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated. But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete failure.
What a slippery little thief. Guess things turned out all right in the end, though. Lenny's initiative paid off.
All right, let's put this little detour behind us. We should go to the Court of...
ingenious way to get around.
This is an aquabus. It allows people to travel between several key locations around Fontain. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the same. That's why it's better to travel.
So you mean it's still boring, even when...
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't... Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us. It's the same as being at home.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave.
Oh, excuse me. Aren't you the great magician Lin?
Hello? I don't believe...
I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to...
It's an honor to meet you.
Wait, could that be the legendary traveler who's been making headline after headline in their journey across Tibet? Amazing! You recognize every... I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who's hit... Wow, today must be my day. Who knew I would end up on the same boat as so many VIPs? Could my vision finally be showing me some favor? So, Charlotte, what do you usually report? Well, when there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the Opera House. You could still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. That's fine and all, but what I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my talents. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well, a series of cases, actually.
You mean the serial disappearances of young women?
That's right! These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the most mysterious case we've... If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked, and it's the headline story in the... Oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. I just can't... So, what is the serial disappearances of young women case? That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20, and ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common, but the scariest part, is that to this day, many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some...
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls... I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Lenny.
Hey, we're almost there! Look! really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like...
Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
I have an interview to get to. I should get going before I'm late.
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat.
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the steam...
What a tough job. Always running around and
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides, I still have all the materials we collected.
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge, Paimon wouldn't know where to start it.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Linny.
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little house. Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pockets. Were you able to get any, Fremine?
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work.
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago?
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontейn. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very... Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least play along.
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words of stranger. It rained for longer than I suspected.
Was there something you needed to do?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last on the day of the performance. Just ride the aquabus to the island of Aeneas. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Oh, are you leaving?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get. Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont workshop and deliver them to the owner there? I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted, and the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of her.
No trouble at all! Don't worry, we're on the case!
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks.
Oh, no need! This'll be a walk... hello?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just...
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making...
Ah, these must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount, but they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run.
Whoa. So...
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontейn.
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks really...
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology, and wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Ah, well, it's a little complicated. But basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a...
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details. When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontейn.
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the Oratrice was created by the art, but... Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief.
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
You again?
Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait, no? 70.
Huh? You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Hey, hold on! Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll...
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontейn. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontейn? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontейn for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right,
Traveler? Hey, you, Northland Bank boy.
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you can't... Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said...
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys, let's see who has to pay up now!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients. You're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this won't take long.
Tidal wave! Brace yourself! This is gonna hurt! Zah!
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank? Wait.
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
Strange. How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of someone.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? And don't say it's work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about, but recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why, but every now and then...
Maybe you losing control of your vision just...
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I felt it was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be used.
But what is it?
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt...
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that's...
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little twisted to Paimon. So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like...
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered I have somewhere else I need to be, so I should get going.
What? More work for the Northland Bank?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duelist? You mean it's their...
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion. The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial. And the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your...
So, do many people actually...
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of... Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with. Which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorend, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have.
Huh? Your vision?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel. So, I think I'll be better off without it. Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't?
Whatever gave you that idea? I'll be in touch later.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever to Paimon. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well walk around and see the city before Lenny's performance. Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer all along! Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Whew. Paimon never saw that twist coming. The murder mystery novels here are amazing! The whodunits here in Fontейn are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks it's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. You should buy a copy and read it too. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, shouldn't we be heading to the Opera House to see Lenny's performance soon? It's almost time for the show to start, so we should get going. Lenny said that the Opera House is on Areneas, so let's go right... Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera at Eclairs. What a place to hold... Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful...
I guess if there are, kid.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontейn.
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things?
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontейn converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Ah! Lynette!
Lenny asked me to wait here for you.
Ah, right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you? Besides, it's the middle of the...
I see. I might be able to tell you something that could help In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element.
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would...
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what?
Just answer me. When do you...
When Paimon's really sad? Paimon's super happy. Oh, and
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? Huh. If you were hearing their emotions...
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Linny might help him relax a little before he goes on stage.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
No two cases.
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seat. The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seat.
Ooh, front row seats. Thanks.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Linny! Could you come over here and take a look?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Linny. Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still. Oh, you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down. Wait, that's not it, Paimon. Sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So, let's talk, but, oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here.
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny, then. Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself.
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet, what an honor it is to have...
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait.
Hmm? I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontain's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here at...
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now, but...
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would... There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite... I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise...
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations and the performance will start...
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never... Oh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try to stay...
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected... Oh, and before I forget, there's one... You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
That's right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing.
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprise. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is, in which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic. Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside... I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as... You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may... If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of...
Oh.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a count like this? 60. 59, 58. Just keep counting down. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Come on, repeat after me. 60! That's right, perfect. Keep it going. Oh,
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy the show.
Oh, all right. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something.
40! 39! Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above...
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like any...
25! 24! What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's...
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19! 18!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
magic to fix the stage now.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in.
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme...
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed it appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial...
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before!
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right! How come he was in the box on the stage the entire time? We can even hear his voice! Besides, before the show, he told us they would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances! He couldn't possibly mean catching himself!
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linny and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he... Well, I think it...
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina's...
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the that's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Linny, won't you? After all, then there's no problem at all. You know, the traveler. But with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such...
It wasn't a draw. She obviously...
I understand. Charges have now... Well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, are you willing to act as Mr. Linny's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linny and his troupe are all potential suspects. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot outlander can build in such a short...
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing...
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer? Good to hear. Thank you so much. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull—
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get— But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the—
Ah, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of—
The secrets behind our magic are past saving.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our trick— 'tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then we should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can—
All right, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case. Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of—
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the— As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out...
See? Told you.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector?
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seat.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case? So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it... Wait, why don't you write all this down?
This location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troupe members are currently considered prime suspects. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Ffontein who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure. The Magic Troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases...
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range.
Okay, then.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these
I see that you're If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure.
We don't have too many thoughts.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
The thud? Oh, you mean the...
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but nice. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident...
That makes sense.
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lenny's accomplice, Lynette perhaps, jumping atop the water tank, and when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for...
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
That does remind Paimon, though.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been...
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. Now...
Well, you're right on the moor about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my...
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second-generation president. Malou...
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not to remember.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she? But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydra.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her. All right, I've answered your question. Now...
Wait a minute! Did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And why would that be? See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I, too, think that the Traveler's response was, no matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on state, and if that can be done, boss.
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants. The assistant? Sure. Or your companion, if you like.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances.
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks. Thanks!
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must...
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then.
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to... We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This'll be useful. We've checked everything of note here in the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing...
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more...
Weren't there balloons and other decorations?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it, Paimon?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be... The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the...
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she...
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near...
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here, but as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water and here's a broken vase.
That can't be.
Let's note this down too. Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady... Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that? If you're... Ugh. This is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore. What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up. ascertain the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. Not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? I'm on that never...
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? What?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point! That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no...
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven! Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself, beating the egg white.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency. Or anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head.
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit. No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then, down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of... However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical...
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase. That is, perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd...
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found... thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to...
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not through? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible cake. Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia. They smell great. They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
They are my specialty, after all. And I see you've already...
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweet...
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone and...
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, Demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, This really is your hobby.
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the two of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Alright, thanks for your help, and for this...
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Alright, it's time to put our heads together. We've gotta get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long... Here, take Paimon's... plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your...
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that you're That was to be expected, of course. The guilty... But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you,
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary...
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to... You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus...
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish...
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly... There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask,
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all?
Nothing. No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone...
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing. Now it all...
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the info. Oh, good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the...
Hey, Linny! What?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both... Are these claims true? Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This...
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? In that case, my dear audience, let...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very...
Right now, we want to save people. As many...
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in the...
Sorry. Please.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, which should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal...
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide... It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust...
Well, Traveler, You decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watered... Huh? Oh, Paimon thinks she gets...
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us... When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina...
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. Countdown began. He entered. When the flatbed trolley passed, he did not realize that the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock. At this time, Cowell. So Linney proceeded to knock him out too. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. Seems this won't produce... Seems this won't produce a particularly effective rebuttal. According to Linney, he left via the vent after... Linney went to... Linney did not...
Attention! Ace! When the countdown started, but he immediately, once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty... The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his...
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing.
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, assuming that what you say is true, Linney only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case.
Oh, They have a point.
That's right, you tell them! And that's why they're partners of mine. Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, you're saying that he wasn't.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? That's right! Linny wasn't in the box. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already... The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! Ha ha! How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Could there have been a third person involved? Halsey is the missing person. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Could there have been a third person involved? The deceased's name is Cowell.
That can't be right.
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be It would have been tough for both people. Linny was not in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from... Halsey's clothing was in the... The deceased's name is... No one entered or... Linny was not in the... It would have been tough for both... The sound we heard may... The sound we heard may... It would have been tough for both... Halsey's clothing...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring...
I see how it is. So this was all...
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider... Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result...
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real life...
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But...
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at... The sound we heard may have... The deceased's name is... The vase was not broken by chance.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being... Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing If there's a
Just how could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about. Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimate.
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the...
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that the notebook has many entries concerning one of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese. Along with the notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontейn. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is...
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving...
It's something so ridiculous.
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but...
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if just a minute, could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal heart! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The water from the primordial sea should The deceased's name is Cowell. Now it seems like the hook rope was... Lynette was in the magic box. I remember there was... Lynette was in the magic box. The rope that strung the deceased's name is... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but... The water from the primordial sea I remember there was... Lynette was in the magic box on stage. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's... that strung the water tank up was lit. The deceased's name is Cowell. I remember there was something else within the inner layer. The water from the primordial... Now it seems like the hook rope was not... The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. I remember there was something up. Now it seems like the hook rope was...
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal...
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack. Does this not clear? My dear citizens, my loyal... Linny did not need, having made modification that upon his... Ultimately, he now, as... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no... Is this the end?
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything either. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen enough now. I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view... Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject!
Miss, I must ask you not to shout.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate? And I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back...
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's on, Linny and Lynette? Give it another go! Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary, but as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila!
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So, the whole thing about—
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then, before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate.
Where should I begin?
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one—
Hey! No wonder you look familiar! So you were the Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled!
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story. The strange sound. The flower vase was. Lillian was a.
And it's Ace Detective! Having been selected out of the blue, her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontейн, but mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended. But she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the...
Ah, so that's the...
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room.
What? Are you reading my... No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really...
Wow! Look at that! She's like a deflated balloon.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontain, the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected with some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected to cover up any evidence while committing the deed. Cowell, he also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank. Using the fireworks at the end of the performance, he poured the water from the Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontain, and thus fled the box with a loud no. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious. Lillian, according to her own statement. As for Linny, he was in the underground structure. From this reconstruction of events, while there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be in this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that...
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following order. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the god.
Yes, I'll tell you everything. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely dilute... We've been in this business for a while now, and have made...
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want... But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? Back when our parents first died, to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing... I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there.
So, she'd already...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me... The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I had just been betrayed by Noble, but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontейн.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine, and we will always defend our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is...
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe if you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you.
Bye, Linny!
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been... And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But sorry. I might have been too
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to... sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer?
All right, then.